I want to just go over like the bracket for the ITA kickoff weekend for Division One men's tennis. And granted, there will be no SMU or Baylor. They're co-hosting the National Indoor Tournament, so that's why you don't see them here. But they are playing each other actually this weekend. So this I will base this on the current rankings, you know. And I apologize for looking at because I cannot memorize all this stuff. And I'll try to translate all the current rankings or receiving vote teams into the, the bracket here. So now I'm just gonna go like TCU's number 2 in the country, and of course the winners play each other. The losers, I mean the winners of those two matches will play each other. Of course the losers take on each other the next day, and it's literally January 24th through 26th. And I will recap all these matches in terms of like 4-0, 4-1, 4-2, 4-3. We're a double clinch 5-2. But you get the whole point here. So, and not like who wins the doubles point or not. Y'all could just check out those individual matches. Now, TCU, like I said, is number 2 in the country right now. They first take on Pacific, but the next match is either going to be Michigan State, which they beat a top 10 team in Kentucky, and they're only number 17 in the country, and I thought they would be higher. And they take on Liberty. And Michigan State takes on Liberty. Now, if Michigan State does take on TCU, that's a dangerous match for TCU. I'm just saying that right now. Now, Texas is number 1 in the country. They first take on Rice, which they're not even a receiving votes team. While Arkansas and Georgia Tech will play each other. And Georgia Tech's not a receiving votes team. Same thing goes for Arkansas. Now, the Ohio State is number 3 in the country right now. They first take on Louisville. They're not receiving votes. Of course, Princeton and Denver are playing each other, but Denver is not receiving votes. Same thing as for Princeton. So now Virginia is number 5 in the country. They first take on Boise State. They're not receiving votes. Now, Alabama, I mean, that's the first round matchup. Well, Alabama is number 19 in the country. They're taking on VCU, but that's with the new head coach, so it's probably Virginia versus Alabama. That's still an intriguing match, though. But that's to be determined what happens. Now, Kentucky is number 12 in the country. They first take on Santa Clara. The next match is either against Arizona State, that's number 20 in the country, or is it going to be Nebraska, which I would think it's Arizona State versus Kentucky. But we'll see. Now, Wake Forest is number 4 in the country. They first take on Charlotte, the not receiving votes team. Now, Memphis is not receiving votes, or North Carolina isn't either. So now Tennessee is number 12. 14 in the country. 14 in the country. They first take on Illinois, and that's not a receiving votes team. So, but I would still beware of Illinois, Tennessee. Now Auburn is not a receiving votes team, while Michigan is number 25. So it could be interesting for Tennessee right there. Now Columbia is number 7 in the country. They first take on Miami, Florida. Now the next match is here against Florida, which they're number 24 in the country, or Middle Tennessee State, which they're not a pushover, but I know they're not receiving votes team right now. So now Arizona is number 6 in the country. They first take on USC, and USC is a receiving votes team. So that's not an easy match right out of the gates, potentially. So now Central Florida, as in UCF, is not receiving votes. Same thing goes for Oklahoma State. And Oklahoma State could very well start 0-4 when you look at it. I mean, they could very well lose to UCF and then lose to USC or Arizona. I'm just being honest here. So that's a little bit interesting. And it's conference versus conference, too, on UCF and Oklahoma State. Now, Florida State is number 10 in the country. They first take on UNC Wilmington. I mean, That should be a win, right? But the next match is either going to be South Carolina, that's number 16 in the country, or San Diego, that's number 15 in the country. So that's a really tough next round match for Florida State. And that's an interesting first round match between San Diego and South Carolina. Now, Oklahoma is number 8 in the country. They first take on Tulsa, while Stanford is number 18 in the country, and they will take on Oregon, which I think is going to be Oklahoma versus Stanford. And Stanford beat Oklahoma at Oklahoma last year, so it's going to be interesting what happens there. Now, Harvard, I would say, is on opposite alert. Why? Because Harvard's number 23 in the country. They first take on Georgia. That's a receiving votes team. That's only round number 1 right there. Now, Texas A&M is number 13 in the country. They first take on UCLA at number 21. So, yeah, I think that's a potential upset right there. Even though these 2 matches coming up will be in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Now, Mississippi State is number 9 in the country. They first take on Pepperdine, which they're not a receiving votes team. NC State NC State, by the way, is number 22 in the country, and they are taking on LSU, which LSU is not a receiving votes team here, by the way. So it's a little bit interesting for Mississippi State, a little bit. Now, Duke is number 11 in the country. They first take on Old Dominion, which they're not a receiving votes team. Now, Cornell, they're not even a receiving votes team, will take on Vanderbilt. That's not even a receiving votes team as well. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens at all these matches here coming up. So anyways, if you like this content, hit the like and subscribe button. See you guys later on the road to subscribe. Of course, ultimate goal is 1,000 more, some money out there. Of course, like video, comment video really helps YouTube algorithm. So more people see it. Sharing the video does help as well, so more people could watch. And if you're watching and not subscribe, hit subscribe button. Ring the notification bell as well.